Great. Okay, we've got a good amount of people on, so we'll start the webinar session. Welcome all to our live webinar session today. Thank you for taking the time to join us and to learn more about solving data management challenges with managed analytics. We'll be running through what the service is and what the offering entails. Now, before we jump in, let me introduce you to our speakers for today's session. So first up, we've got Justin Langford, who is our chief executive at Kerio. So a little bit about Justin before we dive into the session. So while working at Microsoft, Justin spotted a gap in the market where many businesses were struggling to make the most out of their data and really use it to drive business decisions and build business resilience. So he founded Kerio, who specialize in data analytics, data platform, and also AI. And essentially, we help organizations use their data in a way to support making business decisions and drive their business goals. Joining Justin today, we also have Martin Summerhayes. So Martin is our Managed Service Practice Director. Martin heads up our teams and pods of support engineers covering services across analytics, data platform, and also AI. So thank you both, Justin and Martin, for joining us for today's webinar. Alongside the two main speakers that I've just mentioned, you've got myself, I'm Pranya. I'm part of the project delivery team here at Kerio, and I'll be facilitating today's session. Great, so we've got a lot of interesting content to cover today in the space of managed analytics. But what we will do is have some time towards the end to run a questions and answers session. What we've done is we've gathered 3 of the most common questions that often occur when we're speaking to customers and that they've asked, and we'll start the Q&A with those and then transition into questions from those of you on the webinar today. So the only ask is, as the session takes place, please feel free to drop any thoughts, questions, or interesting points of discussion into the Q&A feature at the top. So you'll see this at the top bar where it says Q&A with a question mark icon. If you click into that, you can drop any questions as the session takes place, and we'll address some of those towards the end. I think Gemma has just dropped a pointer in there, so it navigates everyone to where that is. Thank you, Gemma. Great. I think that we're all set now, so I'll pass over Justin and Martin to get us kick-started on the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pranya, and welcome everybody to this webinar today around solving data management challenges with managed analytics. As Pranya said, my name is Martin Summerhayes. I'm the Managed Services Practice Director here at Kerio. The content and the overview that we want to share with you today is as follows. What we'd like to start off with is sharing with you some of the key current challenges that a number of our clients and organizations face. We'd like to then share with you our approach in terms of our managed analytics service and how it addresses and solves these key challenges. We'd like to then share with you as well how we actually implement the service with those current customers, and then what's next. As Pranya said already, we have 3 of the most common questions that customers pose to us around managed analytics. So we thought we'd start the Q&A session with those to at least kickstart the conversation. As Pranya has said, please feel free to leave questions, comments, and feedback in the Q&A session. We will strive to answer as many of those as possible. Thank you very much. I'll now pass over to Justin for the next section.
Thanks, Pranya and Martin, and welcome everybody to this webinar. Thank you for joining. It leaves me to start the session with an introduction to Kerio. So the business is formed of over 100 data professionals specializing in the Microsoft ecosystem, based between 2 locations, Reading in the UK and Hyderabad in India. We've got a number of badges and have been recognized by Microsoft as a solution partner with specialist accreditation, and that accreditation is independently audited, and we hold that accreditation in 3 areas. The first is infra and database migration, which means helping organizations move to cloud. Second is analytics, which covers data lake, data warehouse, and Power BI solutions. And the third is AI and machine learning, supporting clients through ML and Gen AI solution delivery. Because they're independently audited, those qualifications essentially give customers confidence that our processes have been audited from start to finish through from sales, architecture, project delivery, and transition into support and managed services. We've been awarded Great Place to Work, reflecting our investment in our people, including 2 specialist awards for Best Places to Work in Tech and Best Place for People Development, reflecting our investment in the team and in our people. And finally, our business is ISO 27001 certified, which means we've undertaken further rigorous audits to our internal process from sales, new hire induction, finance, and particularly support delivery. I'll move on to talk a little bit about how we support our clients. And starting at the top layer, we often begin the journey by helping our clients define their data and AI strategy. We frequently meet businesses who've got tons of ambition with data, but are overwhelmed by choice and simply don't know where to start. Our strategy engagements help organizations understand the value of their data and define a roadmap to realizing value. Moving to the second section, we deliver data platform services, and all businesses have got tons of transactional data held in line of business applications, but most of those businesses are on a journey to transform their application landscape, which includes modernization of the data platform to cloud variants or modern solutions. The second capability there is around data analytics, and this is helping clients build modern cloud analytics solutions, including data lakes, lake houses, and analytics models. And building on top of those solutions, the next is data visualization, which is really building Power BI capabilities and driving adoption and enablement to protect the investment made in the underlying data analytics solution. And the final there is AI. This covers traditional machine learning alongside newer capabilities such as generative AI solutions to enable clients to securely access data stored within line of business applications and unstructured data using interfaces such as ChatGPT and document summarization. Underpinning all of this in the third layer is our managed services. And I'll start by talking about managed databases. And our heritage at Coeo is really in these mission critical workloads where availability, performance, and scalability are key to revenue and reputation for our clients. The next is managed analytics, where customers' needs are somewhat different, and this is around helping organizations exploit their data, where user expectations and requirements often evolve over time as maturity in the organization grows. And finally, in that managed services track, we have managed AI, and this is an emerging area where we're developing our services to support clients, getting the most from custom open AI solutions running on Azure, while managing upgrades to large language models to ensure we test hallucinations and model behavior to make sure there's no regression in the user experience and overall performance. So this really sets the context of the sort of evolution of managed services from the left-hand side of the mission critical databases through to analytics and supporting the emerging technologies with AI. Just drawing your attention to the technology kind of slice at the bottom of this slide, we cover all Microsoft Cloud data services, and we provide services for any data services that run in Azure. I'll just call out the 3 green stripe logo, which is Fabric, Microsoft's leading brand, encompassing a SaaS analytics solution, so wrapping Power BI, data lake, data ingestion, and so forth. The 2 red bricks, where we reference Azure Databricks, so we support many clients running their analytics solution using Databricks in Azure. And finally, the OpenAI, which is the white swirling hexagon, that represents the investment that Microsoft have made in OpenAI and the unique ability for clients to combine OpenAI services with the security and the benefits of the Azure platform. Today's session, we're focusing on the high growth area of managed analytics, where we see clients improving agility and getting great results from our service. And I'll pass over to Martin, who talk more about the challenges.
Thank you very much, Justin. When you talk to clients, and we very often do talk to clients around some of the challenges that they see in today's data world, they come to us with varying different issues and problems that they face. What we've tried to do is we've tried to theme these into the 7 most common areas that we see clients have that we feel that the managed analytics solution addresses. So if we start and looking at the top left, we talk about data quality. So this is where organizations are trying to make sure that their data is accurate, that it's consistent, that it's complete, and that it is available and reliable to the business for them to be able to make business decisions and business insights. And the challenge there is, how do you deliver that accuracy, consistency, and completeness on a mission critical or business critical platform consistently day after day after day? The second area is around data access and integration. Businesses frequently have data scattered in a variety of different data sources and systems and even formats. How do they bring this into a unified view that enables them to be able to deliver those business insights? Whether it's through a data lake or whether it's through a Power BI environment, how does an organization have the ability to be able to ingest and manage and control that data? The third area that we frequently talk about is scalability. And this is absolutely critical as businesses continue to see vast increases in data volumes and as they see them grow. And how does the analytics support of these data volumes grow and scale to support organizations? And the problem that you face there is, how do you scale both the infrastructure, the capabilities, and the people to meet those business insights? Fourthly, swinging over to the right-hand side, we then talk about cost management. And in today's world, building and maintaining both in-house data analytics teams as well as in-house data analytics solutions is highly complex and also is highly fraught with challenges in terms of scale and in terms of availability of both the resources and the ability to be able to map to those business needs. So how do you actually then scale both the infrastructure, the people, the capabilities, and the outcomes that you want? Fifth is all around security and compliance. We're not going to cover that in a great deal of detail today because that is a topic in its own right. However, I think a lot of people understand that security and access and compliance requirements are critical as you grow and develop your analytics capabilities. 6 is around timely insights. And this is all around, how do you actually deliver insights to your business? How do you grow and develop the capabilities you need that actually meet the business outcomes that you want at scale, at speed, and in time? Underpinning all of this is your own analytics capabilities. As you've seen from the previous slide that Justin talks to, there is a vast plethora of technology platforms and solutions that are available that can deliver business outcomes. How do you grow and scale the capabilities that you need to be able to deliver against those comprehensive solutions, whether it's data analytics skills, whether it's data visualization or Power BI skills, whether it's cloud engineering or on-premise support? How do you bring those disparate teams together? How do you scale those to be able to deliver those transformation requirements that you need as you grow your data world? We think that Managed Analytics helps to address all of these 7 key challenges that clients face. And on the next slide, Justin will share some of the key stories that a number of our customers have faced and how we've addressed them. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks. I'm going to talk through 4 sort of mini case studies, and I'll start with 2 retail clients. And we've had a big focus historically on retail customers. And I'll start by talking about a world famous food and beverage retailer who have a bricks and mortar and strong online retail presence. Now, their business demand for their appetite for sort of business as usual development activity on their analytics solution was greater than their internal team capacity. And they had a team of 5 who were working to deliver change requests and new reports, but they were unable to take on strategic projects. And the organisation had selected a CRM platform and needed to migrate a lot of the analytics solution reflecting that. For additional context, they're operating in a high growth and highly competitive environment, as with many retailers, and they need to be agile and move quickly with business need. We helped the customer by providing our managed analytics service, which complemented the skills of their in-house team, providing operational management, maintaining ingestion pipelines, and managing the CI/CD processes to ensure smooth releases between their environments. And this unlocked the internal team capability to work on the strategic change programs that the business required. By expanding their capability with the Coeo service, provided them operational confidence in the day-to-day running for business as usual, plus burst capacity to accommodate these run rate changes, and allowed the in-house development team to accommodate peaks in project activity. The second retail customer is a UK fashion retailer with a strong high street presence, and Coeo already delivered infrastructure managed services for the client. Due to internal organisational change, they'd reduced their headcount, and the team lacked systems and operational knowledge within their line of business applications and within the analytics solution. So Coeo as a service provided continuity in the platform and solution knowledge as the organisation went through change. We were able to manage the business as usual requests to keep the analytics solution running, as well as delivering enhancements to reports, improving usability and insight. And the benefit to the organisation was that they were able to leverage the analytics solution in planning and delivering intelligence and growth during a period of change. They use and rely on the context provided by the analytics solution to make investment and decisions around future store locations, size and range planning, as well as performance and financial metrics as well. On the third case study, I'll talk through a retail insurance provider who offer car and home insurance, and they operate a legacy analytics platform while simultaneously building a new modern analytics solution. They realised that they were unable to scale their employed analytics development team to meet the business ambition for project delivery timescales while also managing the legacy environment. They took their skilled team members off the existing analytics solution to lead the development of the new solution, which resulted in missed SLAs and a bad experience for the business. Furthermore, the poor experience they had with an offshore provider added to long lead times, and they needed to be instructed on every detail. Subsequently, the client engaged Coeo through consulting services to help augment their project delivery and accelerate the modern analytics platform build, as well as utilising our managed analytics capability to mobilise a team with data engineering and report development capability to ensure platform stability and availability. While they wanted to moderate investment in the legacy platform, high priority minor enhancements have been delivered to meet critical business requirements, and overall we've met the business SLAs for report availability and data completeness for the first time in 9 months. Additionally, we've provided key enhancements to improve visibility and control of their business. And the final case study I'll talk through is a national mobile telecoms operator with an analytics solution built by another partner, fit for purpose at the time the solution was delivered, but struggling to scale and perform under increasing load. Over time, as the data volumes had increased and user activity had grown, performance had declined and their Azure cost had grown unchecked. We adopted the solution into Coeo Managed Analytics support, and during the initial service transition, identified long-running and inefficient processes that were the focus of our proactive remediation. The client enjoyed benefits of $20,000 of immediate savings in Azure cost and a 50% reduction in job execution through improvements to load more data more efficiently. And we presented a roadmap of further enhancements and optimizations to improve the user experience, reduce cost, and therefore overall Azure cost as well. We'll move on to talk a bit more about managed analytics and how the service works, and I'll ask Martin to kick off this slide.
Thank you very much, Justin. So we've identified that most clients require two aspects in terms of a managed analytics solution. So what are they? We offer both aspects. We offer what is known as manage and run, as well as an enhancement service. And both the manage and run, as well as the enhancement service, covers data engineering, visualization services, cloud engineering, and the governance aspects. So the full plethora of what clients are asking for to be able to support their analytics environments, analytics services and solutions. And for the manage and run, this is all around how you actually run the service, and then the enhancement service is all around how you drive small enhancements and improvements in terms of the solution. The advantage of a managed analytics approach is that we can scale the service so that it flexes with your demands, both up as well as down. And we know that a lot of clients, certainly in the analytics space, have urgent short-term business requirements as well as more longer-term business needs, whether it's quarter end, whether it's year end, whether it's reporting certain elements to financial regulators that need better and more focused investment and effort from analytics capabilities. And it's how we can scale that both up and down to meet client needs. By virtue of the fact that you are purchasing a managed analytics solution, it basically means that we can deliver the breadth and depth of the skills to be able to deliver that solution to customers. And effectively, what that means is we work with you in terms of offering a solution that is both scalable, robust, and enables you to deliver the value that you so much need in terms of your analytics solution. If I pass back to Justin, he'll be able to delve a little bit more in terms of the manage and run and also the enhance aspects. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks. Yeah, so I think just looking at the technical scope of this service, we'll cover all logos shown, including all Microsoft data services. We frequently see Azure Data Lake, Data Factory, Synapse, Fabric, Databricks, and Power BI composing these services. That proactive monitoring and optimization is really important to keep the lights on and keep the analytics solution running and healthy. Thinking about that, as Martin said, ensuring data completeness, report availability, service performance, and compliance, but that also includes Azure Service Lifecycle Management. And this means that there are periodically features or services deprecated, such as Python versions, where testing and upgrade may be required to ensure continuous service. So really making sure that that platform is alive and healthy as the underlying cloud vendors change the support lifecycle as well. Moving on to the enhance pillar, we kind of think about this as a continuous cycle. And the reality is that it's necessary to maintain relevance of these analytic solutions over time because they're rarely finished on project completion. And there's a need for continual investment to ensure that these solutions remain relevant with evolving business needs and expectations. And the way that we do that is through a continuous cycle where business users define bug fixes or enhancements to populate the backlog. We work with the client to frequently triage and prioritize those issues to ensure high impact requests are actioned promptly. And we follow a short and rapid cycle to build, test, and release those enhancements. I think that all of this underlines the kind of flow of building confidence and continuous value realization from data. And many organizations undertake a significant capital investment when developing analytics solution. And this investment is protected as the value is extended through a service like Managed Analytics, which not only ensures the platform health through the manage and run component, but the solution relevance through the enhanced service as well. I'll move on to talk a bit about the service overview. And when I think about why customers engage Coeo, there's principally one or two reasons, sometimes both. The first is capability, and that is to say that the customer doesn't have the necessary technical expertise on the payroll or can't cost effectively deliver that within their organization. And the second is capacity. They might have the skills, but simply have too much to deliver, such as operating a legacy environment, as well as building new platforms. So supplementing their team with additional resource can help them achieve their desired end state sooner. Additionally, some clients acquire certain skills on their payroll. That might be a Power BI developer or a data governance specialist. And this is great in providing an in-house owner, but in reality, maintaining and enhancing these modern analytics solutions requires a broader set of skills, from ingestion to data lake, data modeling, report development and user experience, as well as security and cost management. As such, engaging with a partner means clients can benefit from a whole team delivering the right blend of fractional skills on the operational or development needs to ensure platform health and relevance. If I just draw your attention to the sort of two boxes on the right, we'll start by talking about manage and run. This is proactive availability, capacity, and performance monitoring. Specifically fix on failure and really ownership and driving resolution of data issues, such as data loads that might start but never complete, or data transforms that fail due to missing or incorrect data. And it's our ambition to build resilience and robustness in those processes to ensure stability and consistency in the analytics solution. And then thinking about the enhance, this is really focused on delivering small and medium-sized enhancements through rapid and continuous feature delivery, building user adoption and confidence and engagement. Frequently, our clients have development teams and they will deliver large-scale changes, or we undertake those through a Coeo consulting project. And the client builds the backlog. We work together to prioritize based on effort and value. And overall, this provides a complete service to operate, manage, and enhance analytics solutions with no sick leave, training, or holidays. And the service for each client is delivered through a small team who intimately understand our client's operating environment, including their line of business applications and their business objectives for analytics and insight too. As we move on to the next slide, I'll ask Martin to talk a bit more about how we deliver the service.
Thank you, Justin. So how do we deliver this in reality? The key starting point for this is the transition into service. So as part of client engagement from a managed analytics perspective, we seek to understand what your current demand is in terms of capabilities. That is the availability of the resources that you have in the organization, the gaps in skills that you have across your organization to be able to deliver a comprehensive data analytics solution, as well as what your future resource and capability element is. We then look as well in terms of your future pipelines, your future business growth, and also as well the future direction in terms of the enhancements and growth of your analytics solutions. We also as well identify any gaps and any technical difficulties that you may face in terms of the current delivery, whether it is a legacy platform, whether you're actually in the middle of a transformation journey, and whether you are sitting in terms of an existing environment. We also then get into the weeds, and we will get into the weeds with you. We'll look at the number of pipelines, the number of data sources, the number of reports, the number of key business users, etc. That helps us to understand and involve ourselves in your business and how we support you. What we then do through that is we then are able to articulate how we manage and run the service for you. But the second aspect is obviously how we then work with you in terms of building a backlog. And this is the backlog of enhancements. These are small enhancements that don't require project management, that we can actually then work with you in terms of developing solutions and outcomes that you need. As part of the transition, We can start immediately in terms of those enhancements. Some customers do. Some customers want us to just take on the run element for the first quarter to build up the knowledge and capabilities that we want in terms of this. And then obviously we then work in terms of a quarterly commitment of an agreed amount of time that you wish us to spend on those enhancements. So every quarter, in advance of that quarter, we sit down with you and work through an agreed backlog of enhancements and changes. And as part of that ability to flex, if you choose for one quarter that you don't want any enhancements, you don't have to have any enhancements. You don't pay for it. If you want the next quarter to have even more enhancements than the previous quarter, we can then scale and flex the resources and the capabilities to be able to meet that demand. We flex our fractional resources across multiple skill sets, as we've previously described, whether it's analytics, whether it's visualization, whether it's engineering, whether it's platform, and also the governance and control aspects. And our whole premise around this is that we work with you as part of your organization to deliver the business outcomes that you need. So, what's next, you might ask? So if we move to the next slide, Justin, I think we'll move to that. So based on our extensive experience and the conversations and the clients that we've worked with, a number of clients ask us, so what's next? You've talked about managed analytics. You've shown how the capabilities can deliver outcomes that we need to meet the challenges that we've identified. How do we actually move forward in terms of greater understanding and engagement in terms of what it can deliver and how we can deliver that service? And we offer two approaches. We offer a discovery discussion where we want to sit down and understand your analytics platform, objectives, ambitions. That's free. There's no obligation. It's just a discussion in terms of trying to help you understand if there are opportunities and where we can possibly help and assist you. If you've already identified or you already feel that there are opportunities where a managed analytics solution can deliver outcomes that help your business, we actually offer a service design workshop, which is a free hands-on workshop to explore the solution in detail, to actually get into the weeds, the pipelines, the sources, how the solution would actually work, understanding the level and capability of the resources that you've got, the gaps that you've got, both in terms of the run service and obviously the enhanced service. And then working with you in terms of identifying use cases that we can then work together on in terms of demonstrating that value back to the organization. So I think we're going to move on to the Q&A session, which I think is coming up next. Back to you, Paranya.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. As mentioned, what you see in front of you are the top 3 questions that are often asked by customers on the service. So starting off with the first one, is the managed analytics service available for existing solutions? So these can be ones that are built by customers or another partners. How would the managed analytics service, how would it coexist with some existing solutions? So Justin, Martin, feel free to jump in.
Thanks, Brendan. I'm happy to take that. So we frequently adopt into service solutions that have been built by customers themselves, by in-house development teams, or by another partner. And we're happy to overlay our monitoring and services on top of that to operate and manage the platform, and then enhance and improve stability of the platform where needed as well. So 100% yes, and we have many customers that have kind of walked this path with a solution that the business has become dependent on over time, and they require additional skills and capacity in order to operate and manage that environment. So yes, we can adopt those existing solutions into our managed analytics service.
Great, thank you, Justin. Second question, I have an internal team working on my data solution already. Can I still use the managed analytics service? And if so, how would this work?
Absolutely, Paranya. you can absolutely use an internal team as part of the taking on a managed analytics solution. We have a number of clients which are going through transformation activities. Justin mentioned the financial services organization earlier in the presentation. As part of the major transformation journey they are going through at the moment, they asked us to augment and work with their on-premise team to be able to support their legacy environment as they go through that major transformation initiative in terms of the manage and run service, as well as offering some small enhancements. This enabled them to free up key critical resources that have the business knowledge and skills that are needed to accelerate their transformation initiative as they moved into the cloud. Another organization found that they'd already gone through a transformation initiative and had an effective run service, and they were able to maintain it, but they realized that to meet the business demand, they needed to derive further enhancements. So they actually worked with that client in terms of their team and working as part of their team to augment both some of the skills that were missing in the run service, as well to be able to offer on a fast turnaround time some of those enhancement capabilities. So we can work both within the legacy world, we can work in a transformation world, and we can work in a transformed world as well. Back to you, Pranya.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. And the final question there is a little bit more to do with the scope of the change when it comes to the enhancement capabilities. So how would you handle a large change request? An example there is replatforming or integrating a new business or system into the actual analytics solution.
Yeah, we have this happen from time to time with managed analytics clients currently, and the ambition of the service is to rapidly deliver small and medium-sized changes through the life cycle of the support contract. So the way that we accommodate large change requests, they typically need scoping, project management, they have dependencies on external parties or data source providers, and we would that shape requirement lends itself really well to a consulting project. So we would absolutely fulfill that requirement, but we would typically bring in our consulting delivery team to ensure that we understood the scope, the roles and responsibilities in the project, that we could manage budget and time delivery effectively on that type of project. And that happens when businesses might buy another business or may divest an area of their business. They might re-platform a finance system or CRM system, and those discrete projects are well served through our consulting team, while the managed analytics service will deliver those smaller, medium-sized changes at pace in order to operate and sort of refine and enhance the existing solution, whether that's developed by Coeo or by another party.
Great. Thank you, Justin. We'll now move on to some of the questions that have been put into our Q&A chat today. So I'll speak to a couple of them with the time we have remaining. So just to solidify one point from Roger, I'll also call out the names of those that have dropped questions into the chat so that if there's anything to add on or follow up on, please feel free to unmute and jump in. So a question from Roger, he's looking for some assistance to improve the performance of their data warehouse in the cloud and also tools to monitor it. This does sound a little bit more in line with the sort of traditional managed service element where you guys spoke to the manage and run part of the capabilities. But Justin, Martin, is there any more light to shed on that specific part of the managed service capability?
Justin, would you like me to cover that?
Sure.
Okay, so absolutely we can do that, Roger. That is part of the managed analytics solution. As part of the monitor and run service, we put monitoring solutions in place for existing data warehouses, data lakes, and data solutions. We put the monitoring in place not only for that, but also for the report ingestion and also for the pipelines. As part of the service that we describe, we then put in place the fixes around that. So it's not just the monitoring and alerting, it's actually putting in fixes to actually resolve those issues before they become business critical. And then as part of the enhancement service, yes, you can work with us and we work with you in terms of performance. And we are constantly looking in terms of how we would drive performance improvements, both in terms of report generation, data ingestion, availability and responsiveness. So yes, absolutely, we can do that as part of the service. Anything you'd like to cover as well, Justin?
No, other than say it's a very common scenario for us. So unfortunately, people don't often engage Coeo for a solution that is performing well and is very stable and meeting the business needs. Quite more frequently, customers come to us with a quite poorly data solution. So performance, scalability, availability challenges, and generally platforms that are not meeting business needs or expectations. So that that kind of entry point for an engagement and relationship is really familiar for us, and I'm sure that we could add a lot of value really quickly.
Great, thank you, Justin. So clear it's a very common ask. And we do actually have the next webinar for March that will be focused a little bit more around the traditional managed services that Martin and Justin just spoke to. And so that might be one worth attending to look at a deeper dive into what the capabilities of that service looks like. Thank you, Roger, for your question. We've got another one here from Nicole. And her question is around, are there any restrictions of support for on-premise or cloud platform solutions? How does that work with our current managed analytics service?
So I'll kick off and then invite Martin to add anything if that's okay. So I think the restrictions are really around technology capability, but we can support the tech stack that we have expertise in any on any platform. So we can support it on-prem, in the cloud. I think if where clients have analytics solutions running in Azure, we can provide a broader infrastructure support. So network, authentication, identity management, capacity and cost planning. Where clients have analytics solutions running at other cloud vendors, then our support is more discrete around the data elements of that rather than the cloud infrastructure. But we frequently have, and the case studies that I talked about earlier, those clients predominantly have SQL Server integration services, SQL Server engines hosting data warehouse and reporting services or Power BI on top of that. And alongside that, they're building cloud native analytics solutions, typically using Synapse, more recently Fabric and Databricks as well. So all of that, as long as we're in that ecosystem, then all bets are on for us to be able to support and manage that. But let's have a conversation and let us know what your requirements are, and we'll talk through how and where we might be able to support. Anything further to add to that, Martin?
No, I think that's a pretty comprehensive answer. I mean, you know, our preferred go-to approach is obviously Microsoft Azure. We do have customers that we support in AWS and other cloud platforms as well, but obviously we can't necessarily put all of the platform monitoring in place that we would want to in terms of that cloud environment, because that is, you know, obviously bespoke to them. But, you know, for this solution, you know, we're looking at the Microsoft stack predominantly, even if it is sitting in AWS, but it is all around the data ingestion, data management, reporting, etc., etc. Okay, back to you, Pranya.
Great, thank you, Martin. Thank you, Justin. We've got a couple questions here from Debashish as well, so I'll address some of those. Is there any light or thoughts that you guys can share on self-service analytics? So this is capabilities with governance as well. And the thought here is that this would really help fill the gaps between HIP and citizen data stewards and developers. So where do you see the direction of that heading?
I think that this is an area that lots of organizations struggle to manage, and this is partly the success of Power BI and the success of self-service analytics, which means that there can be silos or cottage industries in business, in organizations, where there is shadow IT taking effect with analytics solutions, with proactive business users building solutions. And I think that actually the risk that Fabric poses, is a positive risk, because it enables a citizen developer to go far further with a solution than they could with Power BI, because it really blurs the edges between the one lake storage, the semantic layer, and the reporting layer. And a IT savvy business user can have access to quite a powerful analytics solution. And this is deliberate and intentional in the way that Microsoft have constructed Fabric, and the intention is to reduce the need and reliance on sort of corporate IT to facilitate that Fabric deployment, because that grows the kind of analytics footprint and decentralizes that knowledge to users. So that's kind of the problem statement as I see it. The way that I've seen organizations work successfully to harness this and sort of manage that solution, and the way that we've helped customers is really around separating the corporate or enterprise IT managed analytics solution and the innovation space. And what I mean by that is that often in the business, there is demand or interest in combining different disparate data sets in an experimental way that may or may not be valuable to the user. And what we want to enable users to do is safely experiment with data in a sandpit and in a disposable way. And it might be that 1 in 10 of those experiments or 1 in 5 of those experiments really deliver valuable insight and business value. And what we want to avoid is the business becoming reliant on those systems or solutions which are not subject to good IT governance. So they don't have SLA backed monitoring, they don't have change control and release management and all of the good characteristics of an enterprise IT solution. So the important aspect, in addition to that safe sandpit environment, is a pathway to adoption by the enterprise IT capability. So we can essentially promote the concepts or promote those initiatives that have been successful and do deliver value in the sandpit environment into the corporate IT, and they then get adopted by the client's enterprise IT and backed by Coeo Managed Analytics to make sure that we can wrap that service and ensure accuracy, timeliness, and completion of the data and of the reports and service there.
Great, thank you, Justin. And one more question we've got here is around how you envision the managed analytics service collaborating with industry verticals. So a few examples are given here, for example, connected fleet.ai for automotive, or it could be drug discovery.ai for life science verticals, as they drive innovation for data foundations and agentic AI. How do you see this collaborating with the managed analytics capabilities?
So I'll start by saying that what do clients need from a managed service provider in an AI solution is it's still early days, and customers themselves are still experimenting with what skills do they need to have on the payroll versus what do they need to buy in. So I think that we are incubating our services in line with clients' evolving requirements and understanding of what's needed as clients sort of experiment with AI and build that in. Now, I think that our kind of boundary of service, and this talks to one of the earlier points, is really around Azure and OpenAI, and that does present or enable customers to surface a number of different large language models through the Azure OpenAI service, and that combines the benefits of Azure from a security boundary, identity and authentication management, with the benefits of AI, and that's really what customers are looking. What I've seen customers looking to get out of Coeo and out of the Azure OpenAI service. So augmenting or enriching those solutions with other AI models is possible where it's supported through the Azure OpenAI service and we're accessing additional LLMs. But I would be keen, and most of our clients that are using this are combining and enriching proprietary data, so really sensitive kind of product research, forecast data, with and combining that with LLMs externally. So that security perimeter is very important to them. So ingesting it through the framework of Azure OpenAI and being confident in that trust boundary is vital for our customers. Within those constraints, I kind of think that customers will build industry-specific solutions, and will support and operate and manage that agnostically to the kind of market that they operate in.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Justin. I think that really spoke to where the capabilities lie with collaborating with AI as well. So that covers most of the questions we've had in the Q&A chat today. Thank you all for your engagement, and thank you for attending. Some really interesting content shared there today. Now, if you like what you've heard, or you have follow-up questions or want to discuss further with our speakers today, as you can see on the screen, we've got Martin's details there, email and phone number, and you can also visit the web as well. And yes, please drop us a line if you want to follow up on anything discussed from today. Great, I think that wraps us up. So thank you all for attending, and we'll close down the webinar here. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.